What's up, y'all? What's cracking? What's popping? It's Dee. About to react to this Tryoce TV vid. It's titled Natalie Nunn Outed for Being Evil. Why you have to cut off fake friends. Okay. I'm a bit behind on his videos. He's been very consistent lately, dropping some bangers. Y'all let me know if there are any other recent videos from Tryoce that y'all want me to see. But yeah, let's see how Natalie Nunn is evil. Let's watch.
Some viewers may find this disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi my loves, it's Destin Tryoce and you're watching Tryoce TV. So for today's video, I wanted to educate some of y'all and tell y'all to cut off those fake ass, finicky, fake mean girlfriends that a lot of y'all probably have lingering in your circle. And I wanted to talk about this specifically because I came across a viral...
If you're on my Patreon, you know. Okay, I've been through it. Have a lot of friend story times over there.
Video where Natalie Nunn, the famous reality TV star, essentially embarrassed and disrespected her friend in public. Quote unquote her best friend. Now, if y'all haven't heard, Natalie Nunn is one of the biggest reality TV stars in the world right now. She's huge because of her TV show Baddies. A lot of us know her from the TV show The Bad Girls Club. A lot of us know her for being a colorist.
Too black. Her nose looks like a gorilla nose. And so, dark-skinned girls never seem to like me. We should be roommates. You're gonna get the ghetto black bitch. She's gonna punk you all the time.
A lot of us know her for being a pastor around the entertainment industry and then blasting it on the internet, where she messed around people such as was
having this unfortunate of a fucking face and face shape and still spewing nonsense about the way that other people look is crazy. So crazy. Like this is not Photoshop. This is literally how she looks.
Khalifa, Chris Brown,
Disgusting.
And many other people such as Rihanna's cousin. And to be honest with you, Natalie Nunn isn't going anywhere. She's been famous for a very long time, and she's used her star power and the fact that she sleeps around in the entertainment industry in order to elevate her star power. And this has been known for a long time. Natalie's also known for being very conniving and picky and finicky and manipulative and very classist. Because a lot of people who have been friends with her in the past have pretty much exposed her, like her other colleagues from reality TV shows.
What is it about her that keeps people around her?
Okay, so people are attracted to her because she brings opportunities. She does that because, for one, she sleeps with everybody. She gets everybody's number. She's always out. So she does have a lot of connections. It's like people like her, but they hate her at the same time because she'll use you, make up lies, backstab you. So with me and her, I quit being her friend, and I mentioned this on Baddies ATL in 2015. She stole money, she lied, she left me in a different country.
Girl, did you beat her the fuck out? Like what?
I quit talking to her for years.
And as you guys can see in that video where she embarrassed her friend by pouring water on her friend, it doesn't look like she's really a friend to anybody. Now, for those of you guys who aren't sure who the young woman is, this is Scotty, Natalie Nunn's quote-unquote best friend and castmate on the show Baddies. And her and Scotty have been friends for a couple of years, way before Baddies was even thought of. And long story short, Scotty has allegedly been known to go on private jets with Natalie, and they were both allegedly doing escort work. So Natalie goes around pretending that she and a plethora of other Instagram models, like Scotty, love to go all over the world and go on lash tours because Natalie Nunn apparently has a successful eyelash brand that's sold out all over the world.
Tweezing, you know, then you end up with like no eyebrows, tinting with eyebrows.
Oh, I found a company, literally online, Lash Dubai, where I was getting my eyelashes from.
Right.
And they came out with wing eyeliners. I've had girls go on trips, they might have cost me over 15 grand to go and do the Natalie Mykonos lash that's dropping in Mykonos, and then they don't post or tag you not one time. You just on the trip posting like you're in Mykonos, bitch. You're here because I flew you out, I paid for your shit, and you just gonna sit here and post just yourself?
You hear that?
I hear
You about to
it.
sit there and just post your mother? That?
I hear
You about to
it.
sit there and just...
Not the fact she decides to bring up the lie that her lash events are always in Dubai because her vendor is in Dubai. Guys, does it look like these lashes come from a Dubai vendor and that she needs to be there in person and on a jet? No. She's traveling all around the world on these fake lash photo shoots as an escort. Yes, Natalie Nunn is an escort. I know most of you
That's what
guys
we doing
knew
in
it,
Dubai.
but
Shanell
nobody's
does.
really came out and said it. So Sarah said it.
Literally.
So, yeah, Scotty has accompanied her numerous times on these lash trips. And according to one of Natalie's ex-friends, these lash trips are actually fake and are usually done so that they can hook up with old-ass, rich, creepy men. And honestly, no shame in their game, but that's clearly how they know each other and why they're so close. Now, Scotty is from Charlotte, North Carolina, and she's a beautiful girl. She's a personal trainer, and she has a fitness line. And essentially, Natalie brought her onto the Baddies franchise 2 years ago to help elevate her career and to give her a platform to shine. And Scotty was able to utilize the platform to
Going on Baddies to elevate your career is crazy.
build millions of followers, tons of attention. However, their friendship is famous for being toxic. And she even got on the internet to defend Natalie by saying, "This narrative that Nat isn't being a good friend to me needs to stop. Nat is the reason I'm on Baddies. She vouched for me for real. She put so many females on around her. Yes, there are times when I feel like she's being hard on me or mean, but that's just Nat, especially when she's lit and drinking. Nat is the life of the party."
That is the fucking worst. I recently had to cut off a friend for this who just acted a certain way when she was drinking. And it hurt. It did hurt. And especially because she keeps trying to be friends with me to this day. And it sucks to keep, like, rejecting her because we were really close and I did really enjoy that friendship. But yeah, when she would drink, bad situations. So, this is a huge red flag, girl.
At the end of the day, Nat has feelings too, and she's human. I understand everyone has their opinions on our friendship. That's okay, but at the end of the day, I'm not sitting around crying over what she says and does. I know what I signed up for when we became friends.
Girl.
Spoken like a true idiot. And I think it's also safe to point out that Natalie has got very handsy with Scotty, aka her best friend, on numerous occasions on television and then dragged her ass. And it's really embarrassing that this girl is still Natalie's friend after all this. But the fact that she says, "I know what I signed up for," and that's just how Natalie is, tells me that her ass fake as hell, and her ass is only friends with Natalie because she knows it'll benefit her in the long run.
I'm stuck in Barbados. It's not even funny.
So here goes Scotty spazzing out because I can't find my passport. Oh my God, my passport is missing. Well, bitch, you just gonna be stuck in Barbados because ain't nobody waiting for you. She cannot find her passport.
Did you check your bag? I don't know where my passport is.
Did you for sure see it?
But she gonna learn. Natalie is jealous of her. This girl's in her early 30s, Natalie's in her early 40s. This girl has a banging body, and Natalie's intimidated by her. And let me give you guys a nice rundown and a quick rundown on why. Scotty has been known to sleep around with the CEO, aka Natalie's boss, Lamel Plummer from the Zeus Network, who's the owner of the platform and who pretty much calls the shots. And overall, this guy, Lamel Plummer, is incredibly problematic. He's very sinister and fake, and honestly, he's a whole other video with himself. But he's been known to sleep off a lot of the people who are under his network and basically using his power in order to promise opportunities to people who want to get on TV and want to be famous.
So you saying he approached you inappropriately?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I went to go have a business meeting, and our business meeting ended up, he's like, "Can you meet me at my house instead of the office?"
Well, he might have just wanted to meet you at the house.
No, sweetie.
But like I said, he's a whole other video. And basically, there's been videos and photos of them being spotted together, being hugged up, all while this man is in a committed relationship with a fashion model by the name of Janisha. Now, it's really unfortunate, but I really think that the reason why Natalie does not like this girl is because Natalie sees that the girl that she brought on is now hooking up with the CEO. So you know what that means? More than likely, because this girl is sleeping with the CEO, she's going to get more money, more opportunities, and she's going to have more time to shine. And Natalie is intimidated by that. Hence why Natalie has assaulted her, called her out of her name, and done the most horrendous shit. Because Natalie is used to people being around her for opportunity. But of course, people want to chase the bag and get a nice paycheck, so they're going to hang around her for opportunities. So Natalie obviously doesn't trust anybody, and her being conniving makes her not like anybody. So a lot of times when you're friends with somebody who's fake and conniving and manipulative, and a lot of us have unfortunately been there where we accidentally befriended someone who we thought was cool and genuine, but they're really manipulative and they do what they can to take what they can out of people. A lot of these times, these people who are conniving will make you go above and beyond to prove yourself. Like, oh, let me just do this, let me just do that, or let me just F you over because I know you're probably going to F me over when you get a chance. And then when they realize you don't, all of a sudden they want to come crawling back and try to talk things out and try to be all nice or try to pitch the idea of y'all being cool again when you put up boundaries. Now, most of us have been friends with a quote-unquote mean girl or a mean boy or whatever, where no matter what, you notice that when you get around and you get attention, they get all nasty and get a mean mug and be like, oh, well, she's not all that great. Oh, well, have you seen her without makeup? Oh, well, you know, did you see how she used to look? She used to be really, really fat. This is her outfit. Or like, oh my God, like, you know, that outfit she has on is actually mine. Or, oh, she got that from Rainbow. Or, you know, she drags her feet a lot. Or, you know, she doesn't wipe herself when she pees. There are a lot of friends that you have like that try to embarrass you. And this is just going for women. This is men too. Like, oh, he's not all that. Or, man, stop dick riding him. He's nothing. Like, he's nothing special. Or who cares about him? Or, nah, he's probably like a little zesty. Or he's a little gay. Or, you know, you don't want to be friends with him. Or he's this. And this always happens when they bring people around you. When people try to show you love and compliment how you look and give you grace and show you gratitude, they get intimidated by that because in their head, they actually admire you and really care about you. So they don't mind trying to help you, but they also hate you at the same time because when you come in, you take a lot of the attention off of them. And a lot of times that stems from people who are, you know, self-absorbed and have a lot of internal insecurities. People who really deep down inside hate themselves, hate who they are, hate how they perceive, even though they act like they don't care. And they wish they had bits and pieces of you. Now, I've actually seen Scotty in person, and she's a beautiful woman. She's tall, she's beautiful, and she has a very bright spirit about her. And unfortunately, this can lead to a lot of things. This is actually a big reason why a lot of people with pretty privilege, men and women, oftentimes don't have a lot of friends. And the reason why it's very difficult for people who are aesthetically attractive, or if you're very successful, or if you have a lot going for yourself, to have a lot of friends, is very hard because people who aren't sane and comfortable with themselves will do anything they can to make you look bad. Which means...
And not only that, they have this resentment towards you that comes out. And I've talked about this on my Patreon. When I talk about my friend stories, because, you know, I had a few people who... Listen, I'm going to talk about that, but... And me talking about my experiences, there are people who don't get it. And they don't get, like, why do you keep having these issues with friends? Like, it's as if it's like, what's really going on? Like, as if they're trying to blame me to some degree. But that's why I get very, very detailed with my friend story times, because I want to paint the full picture so that you fully and clearly see it's not me. And obviously I'm not perfect. I have my flaws like anybody else, but in those particular situations where I've fallen out with friends, it be them doing weird shit and saying weird shit. And a lot of it has to do with jealousy, to be honest. And I've been in denial for a very long time because I never wanted to be one of those bitches who are like, people are just jealous of me. Like, I've always hated when girls did that. But it's like, I have to accept reality. And that's just the case with a lot of experiences that I've had where people are intimidated by my success mainly, I feel like. And like things that I have. And even though I'm super low key, I'm never flexing on people, never throwing anything in anyone's face. If you're my friend, you're gonna see, like, you're gonna come to my apartment at some point, you're gonna see my car, you're gonna see my lifestyle to some degree. So you have no choice but to be exposed to it. And some people just react very weird to that. So he's speaking facts.
If you walk out of that room, all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, like, did you know that one time he did this? Or, yeah, they don't even like you like that. I'm talking about literally trying to...
Or talking shit about you on Instagram.
Spreading rumors about you being a hoe, being this, being that, you ain't shit. And then when you walk into these rooms again, you notice everybody's acting all weird and standoffish because that person who you're close to invited you into a room and they just prep everybody to treat you a certain way. And they're just standing back like being all sinister and shit, trying to see the chaos that they themselves created because they're not happy with themselves. And that's the situation with Natalie. She's not happy with who she is. And every single one of us has had a friend like that at one point. Or hell, maybe you've been that friend. Maybe you've been that friend that wasn't happy with yourself and happy with the fact that your friend was successful, got attention, did a lot with themselves. And all you have to do when it comes to those situations is understand that everything is not about you. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody has their time to shine. You don't know how long it took for somebody to get their body the way it looked, or how hard somebody had to work to get that success. So, I mean, I'm telling y'all, a lot of y'all think that y'all have a lot of genuine friends, but watch out for those backhanded compliments. Watch out for those compliments that disguise as jokes. Watch out when somebody be like, oh, wow, you know, your makeup shockingly looks good today. Watch out for those kind of backhanded compliments. Or, wow, I'm shocked. I can't believe you actually, you know, showed up or actually lost the weight. Or, wow, I can't believe your butt actually looks big. You know, watch out for those backhanded compliments, because that tells you everything you need to know. People who jokingly laugh and say, oh, wow, you're so ugly, and they don't even make eye contact with you. When people joke, they usually make eye contact with you. They usually want to connect because they want you to laugh as well. When people make little jokes about you in front of other people, or they make little like backhanded compliments / jokes, and they break eye contact, they're truly trying to hide how they really feel about you. Pay attention. Pay attention to the friends that always seem like they have all these sweet things and nice things to say about others, but when it comes time for you to post your business and your brand and, you know, post things you got going on or post your before and after pictures on Instagram, it's never any love, or it's never any, I'm so proud of you, I'm so happy for you. It's because they spent so much time shitting on you, talking shit about how you're never going to get this and you're never going to get that. And now that you actually got it, they feel stupid because now they look like a hater, because now they have to go back to their other friends who they talk shit about you to, and now they have to prep those friends and be like, oh, well, you know, they just did this because this, that, and third. They're not really all that. You have to watch out for those sinister friends because they're wolves in sheep's clothing. They literally have a picking knife in their back pocket waiting to stab you. I had a horrible situation, right? Interesting story, quick story time, where I had a friend who, when we were at the mall, there was a group of us, right? I was only friends with this particular friend, right? I was only friends with him, but I always noticed that he was kind of jealous of me, like always comparing himself to me, you know, always used to make slick backhanded compliments about me losing weight and shit like that. Like, I just always noticed little side things, but I never said anything, because I'm just like, whatever, I've been friends with this person for some years. They're just joking. That's just how they are. Because anytime I used to address disrespect, they would do this. Just like how this probably happened to y'all, where they'd be like, oh, you're just so sensitive. You're just so sensitive. Or, I'm not that sensitive. I'm not sensitive like you. Like, basically trying to gaslight you into thinking that when you call out something for being a little bit inappropriate or uncomfortable, they call you out for being too emotional and too sensitive, when a real friend will actually hear where you're coming from and adjust themselves accordingly, or try to hear you out and stop doing those little slick things that they think you're too sensitive for reacting towards, right? But back to the story. I'm walking, it was a group of us, I was only friends with him, and randomly, I hear like giggling, laughing, like, like giggling, like him giggling with his homegirl. And while he was giggling with his homegirl, I'm like confused, and like I turned around really quickly, and by the time I turned around really quickly, they were already like about to walk to the other side of the mall. And I was just wondering like why they were laughing. They were really laughing behind my back. I'm like, why are they laughing so loud? And I didn't realize why they were laughing, but somebody in that group had walked up to me and was just like, oh, you don't know why they're laughing? I said, no, why are they laughing? Because he saw my face and how I was so confused. And essentially, he basically said, oh, they're laughing at you because they're talking about, like, how your shoes look and stuff like that. And literally from a distance, I literally see him, like, walking like a chicken. Like, he literally, like, walked boat-legged, like, literally making legs all crooked and starts walking boat-legged. Because, fun fact, I got some fat-ass feet. And I was wearing some Jesus sandals. And he was basically making fun of me and talking shit with one of his little friends on the side.
Okay, we don't need
my feet
any more close-ups of those.
And instead of actually saying, hey, your sandals look a little bit weird, and telling me to fix it and rectify, he was giggling and laughing about it with one of his friends. And someone in that group had to tell me that that's what he and those other people were doing. Essentially, I cut them off because it ain't nothing, cut that bitch off. And that's what you kind of have to do when it comes to people mistreating you and doing little shady things behind your back. Because if somebody was bold enough to do that shit when my back was actually turned, when they were literally like 10, 15 feet away from me, imagine what the fuck they'll do when you're nowhere around. And also, there was another situation where this friend, quote-unquote friend of 3 years, used to literally befriend people that I would make videos about. Now, as y'all know, I make videos involving pop culture, world events, talking about celebrities, influencers, and much more. And I have a lot of strong opinions, as do everybody else. And he basically would, like, slide in these people's DMs, and I would make
like Marianne,
videos about, and he would be buddy friendly with him, and I wouldn't
What's
really
that
care that
tribal
much because
scammer
again,
girl
I don't really
name?
care. I don't know these people that
Check
I've
her.
been constant about in most
See what
cases.
she up
So I
to.
don't
She
care
still
who you
scamming
speak
niggas?
to or befriend. It's not that deep. Some of y'all could watch this person, that person, and still watch my commentary video. It doesn't matter. But what he would do is he would bring my name up as gossip. Like he would be like, "Oh yeah, my friend Tryoce made a video about you," and then all of a sudden he'd be like, "Oh yeah, like I was talking to Simply Nessa, the YouTuber, and she was like saying how she saw your video, and yeah, she was like, damn. Oh, and I was talking to this other YouTuber named Desiree. Like, yeah, she doesn't like you. Yeah, no, yeah, like yeah, she doesn't like you at all. She doesn't like you." And mind you, I made videos about these content creators. Why are you over here talking about me? How do they know that we know each other? The fuck? I don't post you on my shit. How do they know that we know each other? You know what I mean? Like, how do they know? So clearly you're bringing up my name as gossip. And you think that I'm supposed to just, like, be okay with that? And I would always just be like, oh, yeah, whatever. Like, who cares? And just dust it off. But a piece of me always knew that was kind of fucked up and manipulative and fake, but I never said anything because, again, I didn't have much confidence or self-esteem to really, stand up and be like, fuck you, you ain't shit, and cut you off, because who the fuck do you think you are just bringing my name up to these people that I don't even fucking know and then telling me the negative things they said without telling me what the fuck you said?
Right.
So you have to watch out for stuff like that. And I always saw like little petty, sneaky things. And I remember like I've had a lot of situations, right? That's kind of the reason why I don't have a lot of friends. Because, I've always been very well spoken. I've always kind of had my own shit. I was always hustling, and I also used to be a dishwasher, and I also did social media on the side.
I have a lot of friends, but I do rotate quite a bit because I come across a lot of like weird people who start acting weird. So I do rotate a lot of people. So I just accepted it at this point. Like, some people gonna stay, some people not.
I did a lot of things. Like, I always made sure that I got to the bag. Like, when I was younger, I was trying to sell, like, food and candy. Like, I was always in my bag and trying to be consistent and stuff. And I always try to find a way to get some motion. And sometimes I kind of caught myself outgrowing people who were my age because people were trying to, like, compare themselves to me or talk down on me and do little weird, sneaky shit or would, like, throw shit in my face. Like, whenever I would tell them, like, oh, yeah, I'm not comfortable with that. They'd be like, oh, well, that's why you're just that. And they're like, sometimes people will say things like, oh, well, you think you're better than people. And I'm just like, when did I ever say this? Maybe that's how you feel. If somebody looks at you and say, oh, you think you're better than people. If I never specifically said, I think I'm better than you, then that's how you feel, because I didn't say that, and people shouldn't feel that way about you. Unless you specifically said, I think I'm better than you, then they shouldn't.
Sometimes, though, you could come across that way. Not him specifically, obviously, but a person could come across that way, and other people can pick up on that. Like, okay, you feel like you're superior to others. But I agree that most times when people say that, it's just because, yeah, that's how they feel. They're experiencing some jealousy, so they're like, you think you better, only because they think that person is better than them. But sometimes some people do come across like they feel like they're better than other people, and they walk around with, their nose up, and they're just like, like this is beneath me. Some people are like that, but I feel like most times niggas just behave.
Automatically assume that you think that. I don't think I'm better than anybody. I think we're all capable of getting things. Some people have Stockholm syndrome with certain friends. Some people are only friends with people because, oh yeah, well this friend, they let me stay in their house for like a weekend, when I was trying to, when I didn't want to pay for a hotel room. Or, yeah, this friend, they drove me, they used to drive me back and to from work. Meanwhile, they don't realize that people are only doing shit just because they're bored or they feel like they have to because they're people pleasers. But sometimes they don't really like you. Because it's just like, if you feel like you have to, bring up all the good things they did and ignore all the bad stuff, that means they're probably getting in your head and manipulating you. Because just because somebody does nice things for you, that doesn't mean they have any right to mistreat you. And that's some shit a lot of us have to keep in mind. A lot of our mothers told us very well that everybody ain't your friend. A lot of our, older peers and our elders always tell us, watch who you call a friend, because the very same people who are sweet and kind and positive and show you mad love aren't doing that behind your back. Hence why they won't support your brand. Hence why they will never tell you they're happy for you or congratulations. People show you how they feel about you. So you need to believe them the first or two times. If somebody treats you like you're a convenience, or you're just a seat filler for when they want to go out to the bar or go to the club, or you're just a seat filler until they get into a relationship, and then when they get in a relationship, they ditch your ass because I was just bored and needed a friend, that tells you everything you need to know about them. Some of y'all are friends with people because you're just like, oh, well, you know, if I hang out with them, then whatever.
Oh, I can't stand friends like that. It's like, I never do that. Like, when I get in relationships, I always still make time for my friends. I don't just fully, you know, throw myself into that relationship and I'm only all about them and I disregard every other area of my life. I think that's weird when people do that, even though I haven't done that in the past, which is why I learned from it and I stopped. But anyway, so yeah, a lot of women I feel like are guilty of this. I mean, men too, probably, I'm sure, but I have experience with female friends who do this.
Or like, you know, I'll get that job, or, you know, they work for this company and that company, so, you know, it'll work in my favor. No. Why would you want to be around somebody just because they come with opportunities? Wait, matter of fact, I understand why, but why would you want to be around someone you're not safe around? The minute they give you that opportunity, or you get that opportunity, they'll find any and every reason to shit on you because they know you're only cool with them because they come with opportunities. You don't truly like or care about them for who they are, and if they had nothing, you wouldn't be attracted to them. Some people like Scotty gotta take some accountability. Sometimes a lot of these people who are being mistreated and have all these fake friends who aren't kind and nice, some of y'all need to take some accountability, and some of y'all need to look in the mirror because some of y'all are exactly what's wrong with the world. You get mad when somebody treats you a certain way, you get mad when people do certain things, but look in the mirror. You're only hanging out with them for convenience. You're only hanging out with them because, you know in the end you're going to get something in return, or you're only doing all this free stuff because you know in the back of your mind, okay, I know I'm going to get this if I do this and that and third, and some of y'all are just fake as fuck. You mad because you got a friend that mistreats you, that's abusive or toxic, but you fake as fuck because you see the signs and you're not cutting them off. Closed mouths don't get fed, and the more you keep quiet, even though you see the little slick comments, or when you're hanging out with people and they go like this, like pay attention to that. That's another thing. When you're talking and you finally get a chance to talk about yourself and the success you got going on, they go like this, and they start looking at each other. That's a sign that they don't fuck with you, they don't like you. It's one thing for somebody to look away because they don't like eye contact, but when they start looking at somebody, that means they're not fucking with you. That means they're not fucking with you. That means they don't care for you, right? And it's one thing to do that to someone random or someone you don't really care for, but it's another thing when these people call you their friend or you call them your friend, and they're having their own little like inner like circle, their own little personal friendship with somebody in that group, to like, oh my god, this bitch is talking again, or oh my god, this dude's talking, you hear this shit? And that's why I don't blame people when they say, I don't have any friends, because I understand why. As you get older, you start to realize that a lot of the friends you had when you were in high school, or in your early 20s, or in your 20s in general, or in your early 30s, you start to realize that they were all meaningless. They were all centered around alcohol. Some of y'all are only friends with people because y'all got lit together or y'all drank together. There was never any really real foundation behind that friendship. Y'all just had something in common and they have shit to do, so y'all found something to do and y'all are fucking friends because y'all both needed something to do. But when it's time to talk about you, they zone out. Or when you talk about the things you got going on or the sad stuff you got going on, it's like, yeah. Like they don't give a fuck and they're not paying attention. And then the minute you say something that relates to them, they're like, oh wow, damn, your mom just died of cancer. Oh, that's so crazy because my dog died of cancer too. Okay, so here's what happened to my dog. So this happened to my dog, right? So what happened, they literally take control of the whole fucking story. Even though you're venting about something that's heartbreaking to you, and they just make it about themselves. Some people don't have any ill intent, but most of them usually do. Some of them just don't give a fuck about you. They're just bored. They're just so insecure and don't want to be alone with their thoughts. They just have you around just for the hell of it. But when it comes to your birthday dinners, do they show up? When it comes to giving you a nice little birthday gift, do they ever give you anything? When it comes to you coming up with a cool business idea, do they ever show you love and say, hey, I'm happy for you, I hope things work out, and let me send you some YouTube videos or some articles that may be able to help you? Or, hey, let me help you, I'd love to help. Like, if you ever need anyone to do it with, I'll let you know. Are those really your real friends? You know, and it's okay to not have that many friends because sometimes your friends can be your dog, sometimes your friends, or sometimes even family can put you through everything these bad friends can put you through. Sometimes your friends and your family can be your dog or your cat, or sometimes it can be your mom or your dad or your cousin or your uncle, or even your sibling, or even that one person that you check in with every few months who is really kind to you and always shows you love and motivates you.
Y'all check out the rest of Tryoce's video. I will link it down below. But I have a different opinion on that. I think it's very important to have friendships. I think it's important to have relationships with people and to work on conflict resolution, because you are not going to get along with everybody. That is the reality of the world. We're all different. We all have different personalities, so it's impossible for you to click and never have any issues with any friend you ever come across. That's why on my Patreon, when, you know, I have discussed this, I have had a few one-off people here and there who've just been like, I've never had issues like this. I don't have issues. You don't have actual friendships then. You're not actually putting yourself out there to meet new people, because there's no fucking way. If you are actively like being social and like making new friends, it is impossible for you to never have a falling out with a friend at all. Like it just doesn't happen unless you don't have friends like that and you really don't meet new people and you don't put yourself out there like that. So I don't agree with having that type of lifestyle or even relying on your pets or your family to fill that void. I think you need a separate space outside of that and to, you know, meet new people and, you know, have those experiences. And it's okay if you lose friends here and there, because not everybody is for you. Not everybody is going to mesh with your personality, and that's fine. But I totally agree with him. You have to keep an eye out for those friends who are preying on your downfall and those friends who are actually enemies in disguise, because they could have a major negative impact on your life. So you have to really cut them off. And I'm speaking to myself as well, because I've been really bad at that. I have tried to like hold on to my friends, and, you know, when they were showing me blatant signs of disloyalty and just not being a good person and not being a good friend to me, I have, you know, made excuses for them and still tried to stick it out and still try to give them chances. But, you know, as I'm getting older and I'm just learning that not everybody's supposed to be in my life, and that's okay. So you just gotta be cool with that, you know. But great video overall. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Let me know what other videos you want to watch, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.